Yo, peace and blessings, fight fans. Welcome to another installment of Who Don't Know Shit About Boxing. Alright, so tonight we seen the debut of PBC on ESPN, and it was a bizarre night of fights. We had undefeated middleweight Tony Harrison fighting underdog Willie Nelson. And let's get into that one real quick. Tony Harrison came in with 18 out of 21 fights, won by knockout within the first 4 rounds, which is unbelievably impressive. And he comes from a great boxing pedigree with his dad and his grandfather. It's just, he's a boxing family, a great lineage in there. And he went up against Willie Nelson, who was originally a welterweight and moved his way up to middleweight. And the fight started off really awkward. Nelson came out. Both fighters were dry. They didn't look like they warmed up too well, and I think that had a lot to do with the slow start to the fight. The second round yielded some fireworks through the last 30 seconds of the second round. And that's when it started getting a little more entertaining. I guess the build of the fighters is what really caught my attention. Tony Harrison is a super welterweight, junior middleweight, and he's like 5'9", 5'10", around the size. And then Willie Nelson is like 6'3" and a half, which is huge for the division. He looked great. Like his physical stature looked very impressive. Like his physique looked incredible. However, it didn't seem to translate well for him in the earlier rounds, because he did come up from a welterweight. I actually don't know a lot about Willie Nelson outside of the fact that he was an original welterweight. So I don't know how many fights he's had at welterweight or at middleweight. But he looked really sluggish coming into the ring, like he wasn't adapted to putting on that much weight. I mean, he looked great physique-wise. Look at him aesthetically. He looked very, looked in great shape. But, it seemed like it took him a while to get used to his body in the ring. And it definitely showed. Tony Harrison, for the first 7 rounds, just controlled the distance. He actually had a longer reach than Nelson for being a shorter guy, but he stayed on the inside and worked the body and dictated the pace of the fight, kept Willie Nelson on the ropes, and Tony Harrison used his lead foot and that the left hand to just really dig in and score punches at will and just land shots. And then a bizarre turn of events, Willie Nelson in the 9th round landed 3 good right shots and, one final right to the top of the head of Harrison and knocked him out. He wasn't even there. He took his feet all the way out from him. And that was, man, I didn't see that one coming at all. I thought Harrison was just going to coast and beat the fight. It was only a 10-round fight. And I guess what I drew from this fight was Tony Harrison stepped his level of competition up, because Willie Nelson has fought and lost to, I'm trying to get his name right, Varis Montanoia from Armenia, who's currently a champion, who had a draw with Arislandi Lara, lost to Jermell Charlo and Demetrius Andandre. So Nelson's been there with higher caliber opponents, and I guess that really showed down the stretch of the fight, because he knew how to. He knew how to turn it on. Earlier in the fight, they were both throwing a lot of clumsy punches, and it was really tough for them to get moving. But the subsequent decision, the subsequent ending was a knockout. After a lot of the clumsy feeling out and a lot of the back and forth. Again, I thought Harrison was fighting a really, really good fight, and then that's the thing. One punch can do it. Everybody's just one punch away, man, and that's it. So let's move on to the main event. Keith Thurman versus Luis Collazo. Thurman touted to be, the next big thing in the welterweight division, the next big thing in boxing, period, as a marquee name. And he came out to fight in the hometown crowd tonight on the ESPN debut of PBC. Thurman looked pretty good. The first round, Collazo was staying away from him. Thurman was on the flat-footed the whole first round, stalking him, trying to touch that left hand out, trying to touch him out the feint to see if he can, get him moving into the line of fire for that big, the one-time special, that that right cross. But it didn't work. Collazo was very crafty. He's been in the ring with some of the best. He's a journeyman, yeah, and he's had been riddled with injuries his whole career, and it almost makes you wonder, judging off the 5th round of tonight, what would have happened if Luis Collazo stayed healthy. And I know that's always a huge thing in boxing is a what if, and you can kill somebody with the what ifs, but specifically with him because Collazo looked great in the 5th round. Thurman he didn't flash his power tonight. He moved okay. He was slipping away from he was throwing the right hand and slipping away and turning Collazo around, but wasn't finishing the deal. And I think because he had a lot of respect for Collazo. Last time Luis Collazo was a sacrificial lamb, he almost won. He had a very controversial loss. I'm sorry, against Andre Berto, and then against Amir Khan. Was it last year? They threw him in there, and Collazo's tough, man. He ate all of Khan's shots and just kept going for more. He's a tough Puerto Rican kid. He's 35 now. Not a kid, but a tough Puerto Rican fighter from Brooklyn. And he has a great pedigree. What was odd is that an accidental headbutt put a cut underneath Collazo's eyes, and then they hit heads again. And coming out of the 8th round, Collazo gave up. Said, "I can't see. The blood's in my eyes. I can't continue." And what I looked at it from that is, I'm not mad at Collazo for that. And here's the reason why. He's a journeyman. He's already been plagued by a lot of injuries. His face is very susceptible to cuts, as we've seen in his earlier fights. He's trying to take care of his body from here on out. He'll probably come back for another 2 or 3 years as just a crafty vet that they throw in to get rookie fighters or younger fighters some experience against someone who knows the tricks of the trade. And that's probably how we'll see Luis Collazo end his career, unfortunately. But Thurman did pretty well. I'm not gonna say he did great. Thurman allows people to frustrate him, and he takes way too much damage for a fighter that's touted to be, the caliber that he's supposed to be at. He received entirely too much damage. Collazo came in, he stalked him, used the southpaw tricks against a right-handed fighter. Thurman threw a looping body shot, and Collazo just countered and boom, hit him right under the floating ribs, and that I'm sure that's going to stay with him for the next couple of days. Because believe me, I've taken a few body shots when I've overextended for a hook, and it's a nightmare. And no pun intended, I was actually sparring a cruiserweight Chris Nightmare Stallworth, who actually had a fight Friday. And I overextended myself on a hook, and mind you, that's a cruiserweight. I'm a welterweight. He hit me, and phew, I've been sore for about 2-3 weeks in the same spot. So Thurman's definitely going to feel the remnants of that shot, for at least the next week. The difference is that Thurman stayed on his feet. He circled around. He went into survival mode and did what he's supposed to do. And that's the intelligence and that's the ring IQ that fighters are supposed to have. The champions are supposed to have. And defense is what keeps your championship once you win that shit. You know what I mean? Up in the next couple weeks though, we got Garcia fighting Malignaggi. Sergey Kovalev is fighting on Showtime. There's gonna be some big things coming up. What I want to talk about real quick on PBC is they're coming under fire. They just burned through 160 million, and a lot of people are trying to say that PBC is mismatching fighters. Clearly they're not. Clearly they are not mismatching fighters. If you can have almost 2 upsets on your debut card for ESPN, people are complaining about them throwing money at fighters. No, I mean it's a primetime network. Give the fighters what they deserve. These guys are literally coming there putting their life on the line. I think that PBC right now, hashtag free boxing for all, is a fantastic thing. Because all these fights outside of tonight, I would have paid for. And all the fight fans know worldwide that we have been getting some lackluster pay-per-view deals from everybody. Not just you can't just say Floyd and Manny. It's everybody has been putting on shitty undercards. They've been putting on shitty main events, shitty marquee names, and charging in excess of $60, $70, $80, $90 to $100 for a pay-per-view event. This shit is on for free. All you got to, if you got basic cable, you turn it on, boom, you got it right there. I love people. She fucking with my video. I do these on the fly. So, anyway, but yeah, I'm with PBC. I support them 100% because they're bringing, boxing to the casual fan. They're bringing boxing to the public and on primetime TV where it needs to be. so we can see boxing every Friday night, every Saturday night if need be. That's what I want, But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Farooq Al-Said. If you aren't familiar with me, catch me on Instagram at SuperVillainSaid, SAID, or Farooq Fitness, FAROOQ. I hope y'all dumb motherfuckers can spell fitness on Facebook. And remember, most people don't know shit about boxing. You probably don't know shit about boxing. That's why you're here. All right. Till next time. Peace.